this is one of the best, if not the best, potentially, links course in the world.
It's our flagship event, the PGA, and it's played in a fantastic golf course.
You know, links is probably my favorite golf courses, so I just love the challenge, and this is going to be a good one here.
Hello and welcome to the Staysure PGA Seniors Championship, hosted by Colin Montgomerie, the marquee event on the Legends Tour calendar. It features an expanded field, 72 holes of stroke play, and it's the oldest on the schedule as well, dating back to 1957. The prestige of winning this great title was not lost on our defending champion, Peter Baker.
It's a big event for us. I mean, it's if you look at the names on the trophy, it's amazing, and it's lovely to have won it, and you know, it's nice to have another go at it. It is a really good test. You've just got to strike the ball really well. You can't miss hit it around here. You're not going to get hit with, get away with any miss hits or wild shots. You know, you've really got to be on your game, control your ball flight, and I think your long game's got to be really strong. You need to drive it well, and I think that's a big thing around here.
3 weeks ago, Jarmo Sandelin got his second Legends Tour victory at the Swiss Seniors Open. He now sits at 11th on the MCB Road to Mauritius. Last week it was a major, the Senior Open presented by Rolex. KJ Choi was the winner, but Richard Green finished alone in second to jump to top spot on the order of merit. In second and third, Peter Baker and Scott Hender teeing it up this week and hoping to improve their positions. Coming up later on the show, we check on the progress of the spectacular new course here, and we've got the best of the action from the Luck Scott Celebrity Pro-Am. But without further ado, let's hear from our tournament host this week, Colin Montgomerie. Colin, what does it mean to you to be hosting this wonderful championship?
That means a lot. It's the first time I've hosted any event, whether it be on the European Tour, the DP World Tour, or the Legends Tour, and it's a great honour, fantastic honour, to host these legends of the game. And not just hosting, but trying to contend myself and trying to compete in the tournament and trying to do as well as possible.
While we've got you here on the short game area, I'd like to pick your brains, if that's all right.
Of course.
Bunkers, something all amateurs struggle with.
Let me show you, and we will discover how to get out of these pot bunkers. The idea, for starters, is don't go in them, of course. That's never the go. But if you are, well, this is how we get out of them.
All right, let's jump in and you can show us how it's done.
So, number one is we open the face, okay? This is my 60 degree, my lob wedge, right? My highest degree loft. I open the club face and make it more like 75, 80 degrees. Now I'm winning. Physics says I'm winning here, right? A lot of amateurs go in with a closed face and try and get out, and the ball's just gonna hit the face and come back to them. So that's no good. So you're gonna open the club face, number one. Number two is, I know we don't do this at home, it's a shot penalty, but we hopefully strike the ball about 3 or 4 inches behind the ball. It's the only shot in golf that we actually don't hit the golf ball. The sand itself generates the power coming up. And the third and most important thing is we follow through. That is not a follow through. Okay, what we want to do is that, and that gets that ball lifted out of this bunker. So here we go, we've opened the club face. We're going to hit the sand on this imaginary point here, about 4 inches behind the ball. And the most important thing is we follow through. So here we go. And that's a follow through. I actually broke the sand about 5 inches behind the ball, not 4. So it's amazing how far behind the ball one has to go. And it's quite an aggressive act, as you see. You hit behind the ball and you follow through. And that keeps that loft on that club for longer, hence the ball goes up in the air and we get out of this bunker.
Colin, thank you so much. Brilliant words of wisdom. Hopefully you don't need any of them because you're not in any of the bunkers this week.
Hopefully not.
Let's see who handled the links test the best. Here's the story of the opening 3 rounds with your commentators, Paul Eales and, first of all, Richard Kaufman.
Thanks, Kit. Well, what a fabulous setting for one of the best weeks on the Legends Tour schedule. The Tournament host said he was aiming to finish in the top 10 and be contending. Well, Colin Montgomerie on course with an opening 71. The 8-time DP World Tour Order of Merit champion. Nicely placed after his opening round. Lots of big names in the field this week, including John Daly, who's always entertaining. Two-time major champion who won the Open in Scotland at St Andrews. He's still got that wonderful touch. You're not going to miss him on the course either, are you? 4 former European Ryder Cup captains teeing it up. Paul McGinley amongst them. Here he was at the 9th on day 1. Rolling one in from distance. Jose Maria Olazabal and Ian Woosnam, the other 2 former Ryder Cup skippers in the field, both of them major champions too. And the Spaniard getting one into birdie range here at the 9th. A 75 from Ollie. Time to name the golfer. I can tell you, it's Alex Chaker splashing out of the sand. And the German on the fringes of contention thanks to 2 71s, followed by a third day 73. Simon Kahn was tied second going into the final round a year ago, and he'll start the final round in exactly the same position this year. The Englishman with rounds of 68, 73 and 72. Just 2 players broke 70 in round 2 in some tricky conditions. One of them was Englishman Rob Coles, chipping in here at the 3rd, on his way to a second successive 69 that left him in second place at 6 under. He added a 74 on day 3. Round of day 2 came from a Scotsman who's shown in the past he knows how to perform in front of the home support. Aberdeen's finest with an outstanding 66 that left him 8 under par overall. And it was certainly a game with 2 halves for Lawrie on day 3. 4 over after 5 holes, he went out in 40, calling his game unbelievably bad. But he recovered superbly and stayed in front. That approach at 15 set him up for a fantastic finish. Armed with a new putter in the bag, Lawrie rolled this one in at 18. Making it 3 birdies in the final 4 holes for a 73, back in control and leading by 4.
To finish the way I did and make some birdies and give myself a little bit of breathing space again was obviously rewarding. Amazing that I shot over par, I started 2 ahead, I'm now 4 ahead. But it shows you how good the course is here and how tough it is. So 1 over, not happy, but it could have been a lot worse.
After 3 rounds, just 4 players under par. Adilson de Silva equaling the best score of day 3 with a 68, alongside Paul Eales in a share of 5th. Paul Lawrie, the favourite to lift the trophy, starting the final round at 7 under.
Our final 3 ball of local favourite Paul Lawrie, Simon Kahn and Robert Coles are ready on the tee. And with the forecast for the wind to steadily increase, we could be in for a very interesting afternoon.
Well, some of the early action. And Paul Eales will be in the commentary box in a moment or two. Rolled this one in for a birdie at the 3rd. Just the start Alex Chaker was looking for. A birdie at the 1st. Last year's Senior Open champion, now at 2 under for the tournament. Well, I promised you a little bit of Paul Eales. Welcome along.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, what a great golf course this was, and a final day where the wind really picked up. These opening 4 holes, very difficult indeed. Simon Kahn with his approach to the par 5 first. And online.
They've all laid up here. Is it reachable for any of the players in the field?
It would be if they took the driver off the tee, but it becomes very, very narrow at driver length. So irons off the tee, lay up to this spot, and a wedge from about 80 yards up the hill into the wind. Judged beautifully from Rob there.
Yeah, they've got it surrounded so far. Still got Paul Lawrie's 3rd to come there. Meanwhile, let's have a look at this delightful third hole.
And it really is a delightful hole. If you just miss the green to the left, you're down toward the water hazard there. That's a really cavernous bunker on the right. So you've got to be spot on with your number. This is playing back into the wind as well. But you've got to hit it straight. Stay there. That's a good shot.
Didn't look happy, did he?
Well, that's why he's a champion. He wants them stiff all the time.
Still, he's got to roll that in to match your two. Back to the final group at the first.
Yeah, not easy to control the distance here for Paul. He's a little bit closer, so it's not a full swing, but just a hands and arms soft shot. Took the spin off it. Beautiful approach shot.
Well, you'd say that's a fairly even contest between those three at the first hole. Birdied the first, parred the second. This for another birdie for Jacob.
Dead centre. I think he's enjoying this.
Well, you'd have to say he's in the mix. 4 back now, 3 under par. Wasn't easy to see who was furthest away. Paul Lawrie, though, will try and make birdie first.
He's coming up the hill so he can be firm. Just a little movement to the right there. Be disappointed with that because he played the first hole well until then.
So just a par 5 for the tournament leader. Been in front since that brilliant 66 on day 2.
Rob spends so much time on the putting green with various devices, honing the stroke. That looks pretty good. Not a bad finish either.
So cuts into that overnight leader, Paul Lawrie, straight away. 3 back now.
Well, the Dilson, who really doesn't do anything wrong with any part of his game, but if there's anything that stands out, it's the putter. And there's an example. What's that? 4, 5, 15 feet? Dead centre.
So he moves under par. He's birdied this hole 2 of the first 3 days. Here's for another for Simon Khan.
It's a little from the left. Oh, it didn't move, did it? It didn't move. Thought he'd hit a good putt. There was plenty of pace on it. But it's a par. Pars are of great value, certainly in the final round when the wind's blowing.
4 Englishmen amongst the closest pursuers to the Scotsman at the top. The lead cut by 1, but Paul Lawrie still 3 ahead at the Legends Tour's flagship event. Lawrie looking to be top dog on home soil once again.
Welcome back to highlights of the Staysure PGA Championship hosted by Colin Montgomerie. We're very excited that in the future we could be playing this amazing tournament over 2 great courses right here. Earlier in the week, I caught up with Link Superintendent Stevie Wilson to find out what goes into creating a world-class golf course. Not that long ago, this wasn't a golf course, it was just normal land, and now you've got this and it looks like a golf course. What goes into the process of actually turning it from that scrubland into beautiful pristine grass, bunkers, the greens that you see now?
The land is number 1. What you've got in front of you, what you've got around you. Number 2 is the expertise with architects, and then when they create something, it's my job to then make it look beautiful. Specialist grass seed, specialist turf that's grown elsewhere in the country, and a lot of planning. Finally, and most importantly, is we need the weather on our side. If the weather's on our side, it makes my job a lot easier, but a lot of man hours, a lot of grass seed, a lot of turf, a lot of fertiliser and water. I was very, very lucky to have Colin Montgomerie in my gator. About 2 months ago we went a drive. Again, we had the legend John Daly out. It's a collective effort, this golf course, and if we can get as much feedback as possible from different varieties of people and golfers and professions, it's just going to help us in making this place unbelievable. I'm very blessed, very honoured, very lucky to be able to say that I've been part of 2 unbelievable golf courses. But at the end of the day, our job here is to make sure that the customer goes away happy, and we want them to have 2 completely different experiences, and I really think we're going to have that.
So what needs to happen between now and the golf course opening, and when are you hoping to have it open?
I need a good winter. I don't want any snow, any frost, and a bit of graft, a bit of hard work and long hours. But when you're working on something like this, none of that matters. We'll get it to where it needs to be. We've got great support, great products, great agronomists, and the Trump organisation family behind us to give us all the support we need to make sure that we get it open when we need to get it open. But I'm not under any pressure at the moment. But you know, I'm very confident the way the grow-in's going just now. As you can see, this is only 2 months old, this hole. I'm very confident that we'll get to where we need to get to next year.
It looks spectacular, doesn't it? That's all to come. Let's get back to the final round action now, though. And lots of support for the tournament host, and Colin Montgomerie was giving them reason to cheer, grabbing a piece of the hole for his first birdie of the final round at the 6th to move back to 2 over par. After his birdie at the first, it was a par at the second for Rob Coles. He then judged this downhill tee shot 140 yards to the pin at the third beautifully to set up a great birdie opportunity. A little bit of movement to the right and a much deserved birdie to close the gap again on Paul Lawrie. The Scotsman saw his lead to cut to just 1 shot after finding trouble off the same tee. Chippy, as he's known, with a lovely chip shot, but only good enough for a bogey 4 that saw him slip back to 6 under par. A very different picture through 5 holes of the final round. Coles now hot on the heels of Lawrie, and then a 3-shot gap to the rest, with Golding and Khan tied for third.
The par 3-6 playing downhill and downwind, and that's a popular spot where Paul Lawrie is putting from there up the slope as he judged the pace. That's pretty good.
His lead might have been cut, but he's going much better than yesterday. He was 4 over through 5 in round 3 today, just the 1 over par. Nice to see the crowds out there. Players enjoy it, creates the atmosphere. And this is the 7th, which is drivable.
It is downwind, drivable par 4, and that's an awkward little stance he's got, but hasn't he played that well? A horrible lie, down below the level of the green, slid the club underneath it. That's going to be a birdie to come.
Playing it as a call-up hole, so the players get to call the players through.
Yeah, a couple of options. You can lay up short to leave an easier pitch, but very, very small target if you are trying to drive it. The local caddies say the only way to get it on is to try and carry the ball onto the green, but because the wind was so strong, probably end up through the back. Here's Rob, just a fairway wood. Got to avoid those 2 bunkers on the right. He should carry these. It's on a good line.
Oh, took a huge bounce.
And that's the problem. You can reach, but you can't stop it. Great tee shot from Rob.
In a terrific start from him as well. Khan next to fire.
Yeah, just going with the hybrid here. It's a difficult layup if you were going to try and play it that way. Most players are having a go at the green. It's an elusive target to hit.
What did you hit off the tee then when you made a 2 here on day 1?
Ah, yes, I hit a driver which somehow managed to stay on the green about 12 feet away, but Simon will not be happy with that in the bunker. That leaves him all sorts of trouble now. Paul going with the fairway wood. He should be able to carry the bunker, which is 250. That looks well over it. Where's this one going to pitch? Is he going to land it on the green?
Oh yes, yes, yes.
The crowds like that one. What a shot that is. Stop now. Kind of impossible to do that, but what a good shot. He'll be happy with that. Chipping a putt for a birdie coming up.
To De Silva up on the green for his birdie.
I'd given him that.
I'm sure you had. He won this event actually a couple of years ago when it was played at Formby Golf Club. Second year we've been here for this Staysure PGA Seniors Championship.
It was great to see all the fans out. I mean, obviously mainly following Monty around, but very knowledgeable fans, and we needed them in certain parts looking for balls. Now here's this second shot out of the bunker to the 7th for Simon Kahn. Wow, that is off the charts good. What a golf shot that is.
I know he won't mind me comparing to Bryson DeChambeau when he clinched his major early in the year, but it is that awkward length of bunker shot, isn't he? He's played it superbly.
As we said, he wouldn't have been looking forward to playing that one now then. Chippy Paul Lawrie. Look at the rhythm there. Just slides the club underneath the ball. I mean, that is just exquisite, isn't it?
You can always tell how good someone is at that kind of shot when they make it look so easy.
Yeah, and he does, but it's hours and hours, years and years of dedicated practice to be able to do that. It doesn't just come because he thinks he can do it. He's worked hard at it. Nobody works harder.
Gets his birdie, 7 under again. Similar kind of equation here for Rob Coles.
And these runoff areas are really tight, not easy to get the club underneath the ball and get any loft on it, but Rob's done that. He'll be relatively happy, but it just shows that was a good chip shot, so it shows how good Paul Lawrie's was just before that.
Never won on the DP World Tour, but he has run 3 times on the Challenge Tour. Not one on the Legends Tour yet either.
He's hit thousands of these putts with his little gadgets on, so take the gadgets away and he can still do it.
Birdie number 3 of the day.
Great stuff from Rob.
Stays within 1. Is it going to be 3s all round? This would be some up and down.
I wouldn't have thought he would have taken the 4 off the tee, but that's a great 3 for Simon. What a bunker shot he played there.
Needs to keep a pace, does so, moves to 3 under. And another birdie promptly came Simon Kahn's way at the 8th, taking him under par for the day and to 4 under overall. Paul Lawrie dropped a shot at that 8th hole, but steadied things at the final hole of the front 9. And whilst he couldn't make birdie, he did increase his lead to 2, with Coles also making bogey at 8, and then dropping another shot here after finding a bunker off the tee. That took Coles back to 4 under at this Staysure PGA Seniors Championship, and in a tie for 2nd alongside Simon Kahn.
The final group are into the back 9. Paul Lawrie still leads, but that advantage is down to just 2 shots now. It's really tightened up, and anyone under par at this stage has a realistic chance of getting their hands on the trophy. The crowds are out in force to watch it all. How's this one going to unfold? We had a star-studded lineup of celebrities from sport, music and entertainment doing battle on the links, each desperate to earn bragging rights and the prize money for their chosen charities. The fans came out to enjoy the celebs, pros and sunshine, and the crowds were thoroughly entertained. Footballers Roberto Di Matteo and Scott McKenna finished tied 4th on 34 Stableford points. McKenna had a couple of 4-pointers, including this brilliant birdie putt on the 8th hole. Former Aberdeen footballer John Hewitt was the runner-up with 36 points after shooting an excellent round of 3 over par gross. He earned £7,500 for Autism and Neurodiversity North Scotland. But the winner was Alan McGregor on 37 points, thanks to this excellent up and down at his final hole. The former Scotland goalkeeper was 5 under his handicap for his first 10 holes and held on to claim a brilliant £10,000 for the Kilbride Hospice.
And well done also to Scotland rugby player Ryan Wilson, who came 3rd and won £2,500 for the Glasgow Children's Hospital. But the trophy in the safe hands of goalkeeper Alan McGregor. The stage set though for a thrilling finish at Trump International Golf Links. Not amongst the challengers, but not much change to the sweet rhythm of a Colin Montgomerie swing over the years. It had been a bogey birdie start to the back nine for the host, but this set up another birdie at the 12th. Simon Khan still very much in with a chance of winning. After a birdie at 10, he double bogeyed the 11th, so this was much needed. A birdie coming his way to move back to 4 under par. Rob Coles had parred the 10th the first 3 days, but he was another in need of a birdie after drop shots at the previous 2 holes. An unlikely birdie, just what was required, and back to 5 under. But the gap at the top remained 2 shots. Paul Lawrie on the green at the par 5 in 2. Up the slope, no eagle, but the simplest of birdies for the Scot, back to where he started the day at 7 under par. The final 3 ball of Khan, Coles and Lawrie all parred 13 and were now the only 3 players under par as they headed off to the par 4 14th.
Elevated tee shot, as you can see, beautiful tall dunes left and right, downwind, so it's not playing the length that it would normally do, much shorter, but nevertheless not much easier. No driver required for Paul here, just a long iron. And watch this one, if it lands on the fairway it will scamper down there.
It's scampering all right. I mean, it's such a great view up there you get of the Aberdeenshire coastline and the North Sea. Are you taking that in as a player?
What you're thinking of is, please let me just hit it straight. That big wide fairway looks awful narrow back on the tee. Rob also going with the iron. You can get this up around about 300 yards because it will bounce and run, and such a strong wind, 20 miles an hour behind. And there he goes, terrific tee shot from Rob.
Yeah, getting plenty of run out on that. Good 70-80 yards. Down the slope they go. Spectators in tow. Let's catch up with Michael Campbell, who's at his final hole of the day.
And it gives you some idea of the runoff areas around all the greens here. Beautifully struck. You could see that spin on the second bounce, but the firm greens, it just runs out a little bit. That's a great pitch from Cambo.
2005 US Open champion. Started the week with a 69 level par today. Playing with Philip Price, who's taking out the putter here.
Wise choice from Pricey. Phil Mickelson Slayer back in the Ryder Cup in the day. Oh, and he's judged that so well, hasn't he? I do say a bad putt will get closer than a bad chip, but that was a good putt.
Back to 14, Coles.
This is a tight pin. There's a little slope in the green there. Fortunately, Rob's far enough back. He can get a little bit of spin on this one. Can he? Well, it just shows how hard the greens are. Didn't want to be short. He also didn't want to be long.
Been a busy week for Colin Montgomerie on and off the course. He says he hasn't been fully well. We're going to take some time off after this week.
A long range putt for Colin. He's took his host duties extremely seriously, and what a great host he's been, not just for the amateurs and the spectators, but also for his fellow pros. Great host, Monty.
Well, he said he wanted to finish top 10. Roll this one in. It should be mission achieved.
Putting stroke hasn't changed much over the years. Well done, Monty. Great to see you out on the Legends Tour.
3 successive 73s after an opening 71, so he finishes at 2 over par. is the tournament leader, back at 14.
I'd expect this one, even with Paul's skills with the wedge, to be a little left of the flag. Tiny area in which to get this landing and finishing close, and he was unlucky with the backspin there, but again shows the quality of the strike.
This for a par finish for Michael Campbell. So like Colin Montgomerie, finishes 2 over par for the week.
And Pricey, who seems to elevate his game as the conditions worsen. He's certainly moved up the leaderboard there. Beaten 2 great champions as well.
Yeah, 2 birdies on the front 9, 2 bogeys on the back 9 on his scorecard.
This 16th is a tough hole. Last 3 holes playing back into a left to right wind. Can't go right, can't go left. Why don't you just hit it straight at the flag?
That is fabulous from Henderson, who back in 1997 was the DP World Tour Rookie of the Year. And like Paul Lawrie from Aberdeen, Lawrie in this group at 14.
Conservative approach shot from Simon Kahn, but this is a tricky putt because it gets quick at the hole. Slow down, slow down. Well, you play away for safety with your second shots, but you leave yourself in a bit of trouble, even though it's on the green.
Up ahead at 17, Paul Ill. So what did this one do?
Oh, I had 3 putts all week from the top. It's just get it to the top of the ridge, let it run out, and do you know what? What a par 4 that was. Looked all day that it was going to be a 7, and it became a 4.
Great save.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Take a bow. Very nice. Now Robert Coles chipping this one from the back of the green.
Yeah, again, we saw Phil Price on the 18th with the putter, but Rob quite happy to get the sand wedge out, and why wouldn't you when you can do that?
Yeah, there's
good choice of club, I would say.
There's a touch and a half. Not going away, is he?
Certainly not. Oh, come on, Scott. That's a quick putt here and a little bit of movement to the left. Well done. What a 2 that is.
Takes him back to 1 over par. Firmly inside the top 10. From one man from Aberdeen to another. This is a good look for birdie.
Yeah, Paul was just a bit unlucky that pitch shot spun and didn't release out to the hole. He's up the hill here. Has he hit it hard enough? Yes, he has. Oh, just going by. Surprised him. Couldn't do a lot more than that. It looked a good putt. It didn't fall.
Hoping for better, but still the man to catch. Simon Kahn with a bit of tidying up to do here.
Yeah, needs to be firm with this one inside the hole, going back up the hill. Yeah, nicely done. And pars on a Sunday afternoon in this wind are of great value.
Well, as it has been since the start of the back 9, Paul Lawrie with a 2-shot advantage at the top over Rob Coles. Simon Kahn 3 back, all still to play for in the closing stages of the Staysure PGA Seniors Championship. Welcome back to the Legends Tour at Trump International Golf Links. Closing stages of the Staysure PGA Seniors Championship. The final group at the par 3 16th. And bunker trouble for Simon Kahn. This would lead to a double bogey that would all but end his chances. Practice paying off for Rob Coles at 16. The Englishman had been working hard on his short game in recent months, and it showed with this exquisite chip at 16 that would almost result in a birdie. He would stay at -5. Same hole, and after missing the green, Paul Lawrie had to take a penalty drop, so bad was the lie. but his short game is sharp as Cole's. Beautifully played, but it would mean a bogey 4. That would see his lead at the top reduced to just a single stroke again. Paul Lawrie now at 6 under par. 1 ahead with 2 to play. Simon Khan 4 adrift and in need of something very special in the closing stages.
17th, brutally difficult, 421 yards up the hill into that left to right wind. What's Rob doing with this one? Stay now, stay now. Oh, that's going to find the runoff area. No, it doesn't. Well, he's had a little bit of fortune there, but not the difficulty in the length. It's on and around these greens at the Trump International that make this course so difficult.
Well, here he is, Doug McGuigan, at the 18th hole. He's a sort of a South African Scot. What sort of accent does he have?
South African. Yeah, what a shot that is.
He spent a lot of time in South Africa, won 8 Sunshine Tour events. Simon Khan putting the full length almost of this 17th green.
Yeah, the pin was a long way back. 30 paces on, 6 off the left, stay there. It's a big tilt from right to left. He's judged the pace pretty well there, Simon.
Yeah, that was a fabulous touch. This will be a quick one, yeah, for Paul Lawrie?
Yes, from the back of the green, the hole is cut in a bit of a hollow, as we'll see. That's got to be quick. Watch it. It'll find the slope there and speeds up. Stop. And of course, downwind as well. Oh dear. Looks clumsy, but he wasn't far away from a good putt there.
Been a difficult day for Paul Lawrie. This for a birdie finish for Doug McGuigan. This will move him up the leaderboard.
I'd like an eagle on this 18th hole. You can see what that means to him. What a good round that is, +1.
373s after opening with a 70, so comfortably in the top 10 for McGuigan. Now we know Paul Lawrie's was fast, so Cole's having to face a similar equation. Look at that, just touched it.
Just touched it. It was almost unlucky that it... Oh! Hello! It was unlucky that the chip shot didn't run back down the hill, but it didn't matter, did it? What a putt that was.
Fantastic, vital. So that means Paul Lawrie's got to hold his to stay 1 ahead.
Now, as quick as it was coming down, this is going to be slow. He's going to need to hit this one. Go on. Oh, just too firm. Stayed on the top side.
So for the first time this weekend, Paul Lawrie has been caught at the top of the leaderboard. Back-to-back bogeys now alongside Coles at 5 under par.
Can Simon finish this one off? Some left to right in this one for him. That's almost like a birdie making a par on the 17th hole.
Yeah, he remains at 2 under. And whilst the leaders headed off to 18, the penultimate 3-ball were finishing off. A bogey 6 at the par 5 for Alex Chaker to finish at 1 over par. Chaker ending in a tie for 4th, while Scott Henderson had to settle for a share of 9th. Unfortunately, a bogey finish for the player from Aberdeen with a closing 75. 6 Legends Tours titles over the last 2 years for Adilson de Silva, and another top 10 for the Brazilian despite a 6-6 end to his week. But if that trio showed anything, it's the 18th was not playing easy. The tournament very much on the line with Paul Lawrie and Robert Coles tied for the lead. And not the best of layups for Coles into the penalty area.
Yeah, can play out of there, but he's got to avoid the bunkers that sit across the fairway for the second shot. Tee box move forward today, but still playing 559 yards back into the wind.
Not the best of layups either for Paul Lawrie. Found the bunker.
Safety first, no way you can get to the green from out of that, so there's experience for you.
So we're still neck and neck, aren't we? Pretty much, if it's a match play contest coming down this last.
It just shows how difficult this 18th is when you've got the leaders struggling like this.
Well, he led for so long on his own, now caught, full shot.
No room right of this flag, and you can see the wind blowing from the left. Oh, is he overprotected there? Stay, stay. Oh no, stop now, don't go into the hazard. Oh, it's the collar of rough. That could have been worse, but that was not his finest moment, as you can see in his face there.
A chance then for Rob Coles.
Just down the grip, trying to punch this one in. Drive it forward. Again, no room to the right of that flag. Has to be left. A little shy.
But you would say advantage Coles. I mean, the expectations, Paul, at the start of the day was it was going to be Lawrie's day.
Well, yes, you'd have thought so with Paul's experience. What a great champion he is, and this is his home turf.
Yeah, he is a member here at Trump International. Simon Khan hoping for a solid finish up and over the slope.
He's done very well there. Nice warm applause. It was a cold afternoon. Great to see the spectators, volunteers, all the supporters there.
That's a really good angle to show he's below the surface of the green here.
Lofted club off a tight line, never easy. Quality strike. Absolutely sensational. Wow.
Had a look, didn't he? I thought for a moment that was going in.
I mean, that is just the highest level of skill, it really is.
Well, this is for the win.
It's asking a lot from this distance. 2 putts he would take, I'm sure. Good pace. Yeah, nicely done from Rob.
So Paul Lawrie and Rob Coles both there in 5. This for the par for Simon Khan.
I'm sure Rob Coles will be watching this as well closely. Similar line for him.
Well, that's going to be 3 shots gone over the last 3 holes, but safely in 3rd place nonetheless with that 74. For a while he looked like he was in the battle.
Yeah, another good week from Simon.
So Paul Lawrie, you would think, with a putt here to force the playoff.
Yeah, some right to left in this one. 8 feet or so. Struck it well. Oh no.
Well, that is going to hurt. Bogey, bogey, double bogey finish, a round of 76. 3 under par, and he has opened the door big time for Rob Coles.
Wow. And the way he recovered in round 3, Paul Lawrie, you wouldn't have expected that, but it's a different day, different pressures now, Rob. Thousands of these you've hit, this for the title.
And Rob Coles grabs it right at the last. The Staysure PGA Seniors Championship winner. What a victory. The biggest win of Rob Coles' career, seeing off a star-studded field to claim a breakthrough Legends Tour win at the flagship event. 4 under par his winning score, a 1-shot victory over Paul Lawrie, with Simon Khan settling for 3rd. The tournament host Colin Montgomerie handing over the silverware to our champion Rob Coles, a week he will long remember.
Yeah, that's amazing. Obviously hasn't quite sunk in yet, but to pip Paul, I know he's unlucky at the last, but that's fantastic for me. I did think when I played with some of the guys out here that my short game's just not good enough. So I've worked hard at that, the chip on 16, and I think my short game's been exceptional this week.
Victory takes Rob Coles from 22nd to 5th on the MCB Road to Mauritius rankings. Richard Green still leading the way. And to add to the memories, a call to the champion from President Trump.
No. The course is amazing, yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic, yeah. So thank you so much for having us. It was brilliant. Sarah looked after us and Eric, so we're all very pleased. Thank you.
Well, no one ever said winning was easy. Congratulations, Rob Coles, on getting the job done, and we'll see you next time at the Zambia Legends Championship.